Hello everybody, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Now, in this episode of our East Yorkshire playthrough, the main thing we're going to be focusing on is changing this current shipping route from Hull to Selby that's carrying fuel down the river and tools back up into something a bit more productive. Now, due to the slow nature of boats, it does take a while for this line to come in, which means everything's waiting at the other end. So what I think we need to look at is a way that we can bring fuel down to the bottom of the map here, so we're still supplying Selby, but then also taking the tools back up to the top, so we are supplying Hull. Now, I did have a quick look, and it does look like there's a direct replacement ship, but it does only go from 100 capacity in the Dinara castles up to 130 with this new Schaffhausen. And the top speed goes from 16 miles per hour up to this 20 mile an hour. So I don't think it's going to make a massive difference. So I think we're going to have to come up with a new plan for that. It's probably due to it needing to be mixed consistency, mixed consist. I think what we're going to need to do is use air again. I think we're going to have to put some form of airfield, maybe just a small one in between Hutton Cranswick and Driffield here, where we can, because we're already bringing oil by river to the fuel refinery here. What I want to do is look at the possibility of sending some smaller aeroplanes from here down to the airport that we've already got established at Selby, dropping the fuel there and bringing tools back up. So we'll have tools coming to Driffield and then having a train with tools going from the airport here, joining onto this main line and taking the tools directly into Hull. That way, we'll still be supplying tools to everywhere we were, and we'll be getting fuel down south. Now, the only difference is, at the minute, once the fuel lands down south, we've currently got aeroplanes taking that fuel all the way up to the north of the map. Now, I want to reuse those aeroplanes so that we don't overpopulate this airfield and make it too busy. So the aeroplanes that are currently taking fuel all the way from the south in Selby here, all the way up to Withensea, I want to get rid of those aeroplanes and change them onto a line that goes over to Driffield, Hutton Cranswick. But that then means we need to find a way to get fuel to Withensea. Now, the only way I can see from this is to allow these ships that are currently doing the fuel loop. If you see, these guys are bringing oil from the oil refinery to the fuel refinery and then fuel back to Hull and dropping it all in Hull. Some of which is going onto the ships that we're going to be getting rid of and being taken down to Selby. Now, what I want to happen is for some of that fuel to come all the way back to the start, so that it goes back onto these trains, is taken all the way back up to the crude oil well, and then we'll have a little truck route from here that takes it then to the truck depot at the airport, and then it'll be distributed in to Withensea itself, or just skip that truck stop altogether and just truck it straight into Withensea. That way, everything that was already getting satisfied still is. Now, before we get into that, you may remember at the end of the last episode, I was looking at why the seaside commuter line wasn't making as much money as we expected. Now, thanks to a guy in the comments called Bjorn Spalland, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, please forgive me Bjorn if I haven't, but he said that he thought I hadn't added in the return stops on the train, and he's absolutely correct. At the minute, we've got the train stops going from Winstead to Heddon to Allaby to Hornsea. Now, what I stupidly forgot to do was to add these return journeys. We want to go Allaby, Heddon, and then into Winstead again at the end. But we just need to switch these platforms up. So at stop number 5 in Allaby, we want platform 1. And then in Heddon at 6, we want platform 2, is that right? Or no, platform 1 again. Something's gone amiss here, why it won't do that. Let me just have a look at why it doesn't like that. Have we not got a loop we could use? So we're going into the correct platform there, and then we're heading all the way down here. So then it's from Allaby. So at the minute we're saying Allaby platform 1, and we want to get into Heddon. That's why. It's because I've clicked on the bus stop here for Heddon. So after Allaby, we want the train station even. There we go. And then now that completes it all the way. So hopefully now that means that that line will start making us some decent money. So thanks again for that, Bjorn. You've really helped me out there. I think I would have found it eventually, but it would have taken me a long time to realise that that's what I'd done. So if we want to get into the bare bones of it, I'm going to pause this because we're going to mess up quite a few routes. What I want to do is find a Hull Selby ship, which is here, and we want to tell all of those vehicles to be sold. And then I want to delete that line, which is a shipping line. Hull Selby tools and fuel, gone. Okay, so now we can get rid of this dock. It isn't doing anything else. Now we've got this train station that is still in range of here. So what we need to do is repurpose the routes from here. So once we're finished here, the tools, and let me think about this, the tools were just going straight onto the boats, but now I need them to be dropped off at the airfield here. So we may need to make this guy bigger. How many routes have we currently got coming into this truck stop? We've already got 2 coming in. Okay, so what I want to do is expand these out. We may come back and stick a big 4-1 in, actually. I think we will do. We'll do that now to just bite the bullet. I'm going to give us 2 on each side, 30 metres, and we're going to put this in and make it so it actually works how we want it to. Actually, if we put this over here, hopefully we can fit a second street connection in behind there. We can't, we'll just have to move that a little bit. What I'm thinking is we could have everything congregating in this one place. And it should make everything work a lot easier, because what we're going to need now is everything that was going through this little truck stop here, now going through this one as well. You'll see what I mean when this all comes together. Now this could be a big mistake on my end. I don't think it is, but I think it should work out pretty well. So hopefully those 2 routes that were going there have moved. They have. I don't want them on the same terminal though. So we'll put those on 1 and 2. Now these 2 lines here, where were they going? So this one was taking the fuel into town. So all that we need is after Manor Road, we need to go from this truck stop and we get rid of Selby West. And at Lower Selby is where we wait for a full load. Okay, so basically all we're doing is we're changing the fuel pickup point as from the ships to where the aircraft are going to be delivering it from now on. And then we've got the other line that comes through here, which is the airport delivery. Now this is the one that's taking the fuel to here for the flight up to the seaside. So we can actually just get rid of that line completely. We don't need that one anymore. If we tell this vehicle to be sold, and we get rid of that line, let's find that one, airport delivery. There we go. Now, we'll just hit the go button to get those out of here. Now, what we are going to need to do is when the tools get delivered into here, now I need a line that's going to take the tools from here to the airport. Because I don't think the airport's in catchment. No, it's not. So, let me get a vehicle over here. Something that can carry tools. Looks like we've got these new vehicles now. We'll go for one of the new trucks. So we'll go for 2 of these. Should be plenty. We want those on a new line. Now that's going to go from, just from here to there. It's going to be RF for road freight as usual. We're down near Selby, so it's going to be Selby. I'm going to call this tools transfer. Now what I want to make sure this does is it waits for a full load in Selby. And it only collects tools from there. And then at Lower Selby, it only unloads. Now, we'll hit pause again, because what we need to do now, currently now we've got these aircraft flying up and down with absolutely nothing in them. and we've got nothing arriving at the top end here. So what I do want to do is get this airfield in and get things moving. Now we need cargo. I think we're going to go for... I don't know whether it's worth it to bite the bullet now and just go for a bigger airfield off the bat, because we will need to upgrade this later on. Which side do we want the road? I think probably this side. I mean, if I can connect that straight in like that, that's perfect, because now as soon as the fuel's ready, it'll go straight into the airfield. We can connect that with a flight down. Let me do that before we get sidetracked. So instead of Withensea airfield, we want to come here, and at Driffield, I'm going to tell these guys to wait for a full load. And at Driffield airfield, I want them to load fuel, and I want them to unload tools. Withensea can be deleted. And then at Selby Airfield, I want them to load on tools and unload everything else. And then we're going to change that. So that's Selby to Driffield. And it's not just fuel, it's fuel and tools. So hopefully that now starts sorting itself out. We will need to put more ships on this line. I don't know if there's a replacement for the Vandals yet. So if we go cargo, large ships. What are these we've currently got? Vandals. Violas are the new ones. So we replace all of those with Violas. They can carry a bit more. And then I'm going to stick an extra 2 ships on there. So what these guys are doing currently is taking crude oil from down here all the way to this North Ferriby oil refinery. Here's one now, and it's just picked some up. And then what it's doing is bringing the oil back to the Driffield fuel refinery. That's making it into fuel, and we've got trucks here just trucking some into Driffield. But now we've ramped that up. These guys are coming into land. They're only carrying 14 each anyway, but we can start ramping that up as and when we need to. So that's fuel sorted for back down to Selby. Now the other place we needed fuel, and sorry, that's going to bring tools up to Driffield, is if that's in line, which it is, then here, this Driffield fuel, we're going to need an extra line here to bring the tools into Driffield as well, aren't we? I almost forgot about that. So if we have a look where tools are needed, which is all this end of the city, we'll look to get a truck stop in somewhere here that's not going to affect this tram route that's already in. So if we go here, and then I want a road depot with some trucks that can, we'll just go for 2 again, that can carry some fuel. We want, not fuel, sorry, that can carry tools. I'll do that now because there's a lot going on at the moment, so we just want to collect tools, and we want to take that to the truck stop there. So this is going to be RF for road freight, and it is Driffield tools. Okay, so now we've got, if we just double check the tools lines here, so we've got 2 trucks here waiting to take tools from the train station here. We'll speed it up to see if it works as well. So tools are going to go from the train station here to the airport. From the airport, they're then going to go onto the aircraft. They're going to fly all the way up to here. They're going to sit here and get taken into the town. That's perfect. So from here, oil's going to get delivered. It's going to be converted to fuel. It'll wait here, and the aeroplanes that are dropping the tools off will then take fuel back. And then down at the bottom end here, we should have fuel trucks waiting, which we have. They're currently causing, we're going to have to take the wait until full off. Because otherwise we're going to be blocking all the other routes that are waiting. Yeah, I see all this steel's building up now. What I'm going to do is manage these vehicles. and I'm going to sell a few of those. Just to keep things moving. We can just add a few more in as and when we need to. I don't know why these are staying here now, so we're at lower Selby. We'll put load if available, that's where I've gone wrong. There we go, so that should now keep everything flowing. We will need to add some more trucks again. But I've just seen the new ones come through, I think, and we are getting new aircraft all the time as well. You can see now the tool's getting, the steel's getting through, sorry, the machines are waiting again. That's probably cost us a few hundreds of thousands there. Right, okay, so I think that looks like it's everything pretty much back up and running as was. The only problem now is we aren't getting any fuel into Withensea. So I need to check this route, because I'm pretty sure on here I told them to, at Hull East, what I want them to do is at Hull Port, they can do whatever they want, that's fine. Hull East, they can do whatever they want, which is a fuel refinery. So they are okay, so as long as that's in range... you see, now that's not in range of the trains. So at the minute, we're unable to actually take fuel back. Now, I wonder whether it's worth me changing this train station. No, for now, I think all I'm going to do, just to keep it nice and simple, we only need a single platform, but from here just over to the other train station here, I'll just add a second street connection here to make it simple. And then we want to go for country road, medium's fine, and I want to connect these two up. Oh, I don't know why that didn't work. There we go. Which means we are going to have a road depot, unfortunately. And then all I want just to get this going is one of these new trucks. That can carry 21, that's fine. We'll have two, because why not? At Hull West, we'll say load all, full load. All we want to do is load fuel. We don't want to unload anything. At Hull Central is just unload. Well, to be honest, it can unload anything. What it might do is the train, for whatever reason, might put some crude on here, and then it just makes money both ways. It shouldn't do, it's inefficient, but if that is what happens, then all it's going to do is make us more money in the long run. What I do want to do is add a couple of buildings here just so we don't lose any potential fuel. So hopefully what we're going to see now, this fuel refinery, well actually no, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Because there's no way at the minute of the fuel getting to Withensea. But because this guy's in range of that station already, I think we'll just reuse that one. We'll get us a nice new country lane. Let's have a look. We'll upgrade that little bit that for some reason the game hasn't already upgraded. Upgrade our road. Our construction not possible. Is that because of my rail crossing? Probably is. I'll delete that there. There you go, now we can upgrade it. I mean, to be fair, if we're going to be putting a lot of traffic through here, it's probably worth us having a little tunnel here. Does that not look ridiculous? Do I keep clicking the wrong button here? Oh, the auto-save, that's what it is. I don't think that looks ridiculous. We'll just chuck some trees around. Ooh, that's a lot stronger than I was expecting. There you go, that sort of gets rid of it a little bit. Moving these out a little bit. I don't know what that why that's gone like all... It's sort of gone in squares around the entrance here. Don't know what... There we go, that's a lot better. We'll cover up the bits that we don't like. So, from here now, what I think I'm going to do is just change this vehicle. Just change this route. So instead of after Park Lane, let's see, we want it to go from Park Lane over to where the crude is here and there. At Withensea Holt we want it on the other terminal. We don't want it getting mixed up with the other ones. And at Withensea Holt we want to say load a full load, and all we want is fuel. We don't want it to unload anything, and then at Park Lane's just unload. Okay, and then that vehicle will upgrade to one of the big guys, and we'll clone it. And then I want to actually have a look at one of these because I've not seen it yet. Oh, it looks like a man truck. It looks very professional, the driver. It looks a bit more like a bus conductor. That's quite cool, I like that. But hopefully now, we get demand for Withensea at this fuel refinery. And we have. So it knows now, and there should hopefully be some fuel coming across to this side. It also looks like these guys are having to stop and wait a little bit, which means that these trains need upgrading a little bit. So we'll look at that next as well, while we're solving these issues. So hopefully, either this ship or the next one will now have some extra fuel that it can take over to the other side. So that one hasn't. Vehicles in bad condition, let's see what we've got. Very bad. Tram number 24. Are these guys making money? They are, but I think I'll delete one of these trams and then we'll upgrade those. At the minute, what are we currently carrying? 11. 26 or 27. We don't need anything great, any great shakes in this town, I don't think so. There we go. Driffield is going to start to grow a bit more now as well as we start to bring tools in, so upgrading that won't do any harm. Trams again in Selby. These ones are making a decent amount of money, but they aren't running completely full, so again, if we say get rid of 3 and replace, we will go with the faster ones in Selby. It's one of our bigger towns. Where are they? Let's have a look. I do like the trams. It just seems something a bit satisfying about trams. I was wondering whether to do a sort of a tram-only series. I've seen a mod on the Steam Workshop that enables you to do cargo trams, but I don't know the sort of dates that it transpires across, whether you could go from sort of 1850 all the way up, or well, it might be a case of we start in the 1900s and do it, but I think just a small map for sort of 4 or 5 episodes, it might be fun to deal with that. We'll have a look. If you think that'd be a good idea, just let me know, guys, and it's something I can look at doing. I don't like that these are waiting so long here. I think we're going to have to upgrade these trains. So what we're currently running on here, AE4, so they're not even old trains really. We're carrying 225. AE4s do 62 miles per hour. But it is our, I believe I'm right in saying it's our biggest money maker, train wise. Oh, it's actually not anymore. It's making 10 million though. Right. Yeah, I mean we're at $1.5 billion now, so money's not an issue. Let's get this done because we really do need these upgrades. We're currently carrying 225. I'm going to put that up to 285. Alright, we'll swap that because what I also want to do while we're here is upgrade these ships to carry more as well. So the newer version of these ships, oh, they're already upgraded. They've already got 240 capacity. I must have done that in the last episode and I've forgotten already. I should have upgraded the trains. Have a look at this guy. 75 mile an hour, straight in. Thinking about it, I might have been a bit foolish there and wasted some money because these carriages can only go 50 miles an hour anyway, can't they? No, the new carriages can do, sorry, 75, I think. Yeah, so the carriages do 75. That train can do 124, so realistically I probably should have gone with something like a Series 1042. Now, this is something I've noticed here, guys, as well. There's not early electric. Obviously, we're on a UK map, but there isn't any real UK electric trains. I don't know if in real life there was or there wasn't. I'm not really big on vehicles through the ages and so forth, but I'm hoping to learn a bit more as we go on with the series and as I go on playing the game in general, to be honest with you. I just want to kind of speed this up now and make sure that we are receiving fuel at the end. Here we go. So this one's got 25 fuel on, so that's going to get dropped off. And that should make it all the way through and up to Withensea, which means that the next ship should also go on its way. So that needs to go over to Hull East. I shouldn't really do this, but I just want to make sure that this line's working. So I'll send him on his way. We'll make sure that one of these vehicles picks up the fuel. Yeah, perfect. So he's going to run this across. He'll put it on the platform, and now, typical, we've just missed the train as well. But the next train will pick that up and it'll go back. Wonderful. Now we've got a problem here where the trains, there isn't enough fuel waiting for the train when it arrives, so we'll bring these guys up into 1974, and hopefully that'll help us bring a bit more through. But they're even waiting here, so it might be time. Mind you, that's in range of all of these guys. It might be a case of it, we are just at that stage now. Oh, we've got the Intercity 125. Is that a multiple unit? That it is. 1975. I thought, you know what? I would have thought it'd be a bit early for that. But that is a British Intercity 125, and it's diesel. Capacity of 124. That might be something we have to look at bringing into our main line at some point, guys. That might be the next upgrade. I have a suggestion that we do this line here, and we have an anti-clockwise route as well. Just for, obviously, if some people are trying to go from, say, Hull to Beverley, at the minute they have to go all the way around the loop to get there. So that's something we need to look at. And once we're getting tools in Driffield, which we are now we need to set up that train link to get the tools into Hull, because that's the one final part of the link that we aren't doing, which we were when we started out. Now, how do we go about it? Shall we use road, or shall we stick a train in? I think train. It's got to be a train, hasn't it, really? For now, I don't know if it will remain as this, but we only need a small train. I'll go 160. I'm going to stick this guy on the end here. Now, where are we going to branch into the line? It's going to have to be here, isn't it? Somewhere here. Maybe just here. Oh, autosave. So we want to pull this line out at about the same place. It doesn't want to go into there. Right, okay, let's delete that back. I think what we need to do is this side first. It's just as the line's bending, you see. We've got top speed of 75, that's not a problem. I know this is going in with catenaries, I have just noticed, but I think it's not going to be a long time until... Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll get rid of the catenaries. I don't think it's going to be a long time until we start upgrading anyway, but... Now, for this section, I think I only need one. Single track, but we might as well double track it. It's not going to cause us any detriment. The land's nice and flat around here, so it's not like it's costing us a fortune to go through any valleys and things. There we go. And then as he slows down for the station, we'll pull it. We'll pull him out. Oof. Scared me then with that aircraft coming over the top. Okay, we'll make sure this knows which way to go, so we'll put a signal on this side. We are only going to have one train, but just in case in the future we had an extra one. Now we want to be the one that gives way realistically, so I'm not going to put a signal coming out for the train coming out. It's already got one on the road, that's fine. That's fine for this one. He's going to join. You may have to wait for traffic here, but unfortunately it is what it is. And then we need some sort of freight station in Hull. If we were to look, because of the end game plan of having freight going around the loop, I think it makes sense to put an actual station in now. If I put enough room here, what I'm thinking is, I want to have enough room here for a road to go outside, but then also a truck depot. But then so that the truck depot can... I want the road to go underneath and hook back to the city, if you know what I mean. You'll see when we get it up and running, but... Well, that's okay for now. So, where we're going to pull off, we're going to delete this connection for now from the depot. I think we need to pull off from here. So that's the right hand track. So that's actually done that quite nicely. Again, we want to be the one waiting, so we'll prioritise the normal traffic. We're going to be coming in on this side, so we want the switch to be on this side. And then for delivery, we're in the town, so we'll go for a medium road. Not bothered about bus lanes outside here as of yet. This is the bit I was sort of on about. I wouldn't mind connecting that road in there, and then from here, I wouldn't mind a little tunnel here if we can get one. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was after. Obviously we need to tidy this up a little bit and do some decorating like we did with the other one, just so they don't look like a big sandy hole in the ground. There we go, it sort of looks like it belongs, doesn't it? Turn the brush size down. There we go. And then the actual depot that I wanted. See, now I was hoping that this would fit in there, but I probably should have checked this before. That's my own stupid fault. But what we will do is it doesn't need to come out the other end, so I'll just stick a depot on the end here. I'll stick a couple of buildings on to make it look a bit more depot-y. And that, for some reason, collides with the station building, but okay. I wonder if we can stick another couple around that corner instead. There we go, that looks a bit better at least. And then now we need to reconnect this depot, but I think I'll rebuild it somewhere a little bit more believable. I think there's probably about right. And then I think, as it is only a depot, we'll put a double slip switch in there. You know, we wouldn't ideally want trains using double slip switches all the way, all the time, but as if we were telling the train to just come back to the depot, I don't mind it using one there. Now, we're going to need a train, and this doesn't need to be anything fantastic, so what we're looking at per year, 900,000, 400,000. But it is on the main line though, so it needs to go at least as fast as the main line. Which currently, I think the Flying Scotsman's have 75 mile an hour, is it the top speed? Yeah, 75 mile an hour, so as long as whatever we put on this tools line does 75, no hab, perfect for it. No hab, 900,000 a year, cargo, and we want tools. And it needs to be the bigger ones that'll do 75. There we go. I'm thinking for here, that'd be fine, 78. I mean, how many tools does Hull need? 291, so yeah. That'll be fine. It needs to go on a new line. From Hutton Cranswick, where it's going to wait till fall. Oh, deleted it. Schoolboy error right there. So what we want to do is load full on tools. Unload nothing's key here because I don't want it to start bringing fuel from Hull up here. Hull exchange, I only want it to unload. And this is going to be TF for train freight. It's going to be Driffield to Hull tools. Maybe see, if I didn't say that, what it would do is it'd pick up the fuel somehow in this system that's been dropped at Hull, and it'd take the fuel straight to Driffield. And that'd bypass everything we were doing with the ships going up and around, because we want the demand for the fuel to come from the ships that's then going to send the fuel all the way down south to Selby as well. Now we need a truck delivery route in town for the tools. Now, the tools delivery from here, that's the point, there's two lines in here now that we're not going to need the tools one. So this tools one, I completely forgot about this, doesn't need to go to Hull sidings anymore. Queen Street is where the tools need dropping off, but they now need picking up over at Hull Transfer. So Hull sidings is now a no-no, and then from Hull Transfer we only want to collect tools. And let's just make a point of that actually. We don't want it to unload anything at Hull Transfer. These guys that are on the fuel line here are still going to be picking the fuel up. The fuel will still be getting dropped off there. Yes, we still need those there. Okay. Now, is there any lines that are not making money, and why? That new tools line. Oh, Snaith tools line. Okay, so the Snaith tools line. That's going now. I think that might have had a hiccup because we've been messing with all the tools system. Until we've just okayed that system there was no way for tools to go all the way into Hull. It was only dealing with the smaller town of Driffield, but that looks like it's now up and running. It may need a faster train. It looks like it's topping out at 34 mile an hour, this. Yeah, let's have a look at that. It is quite old. I go to replace that. Probably another no-hab here actually, 75 mile an hour and a no-hab. Again, it's tools, it's boxcars. We're currently carrying 152 tools. But it's very flat, this route. We'll go with 156, it's almost a direct replacement, but it's just a speed difference. Okay, so now we've got the tools here. Are these guys going to manage this okay? I just want to see if by the time the next time the train comes back, these two trucks have emptied here. But autosaves are getting more and more often, I swear. It looks like, I think these guys are I'm going to pin this depot over here. Where's this train? He's only just getting back. He's not going to fill up straight away, is he? No. What I might do, just because production is going to ramp up, is I think I'm going to just add, just to be safe, one extra vehicle on here. Now the steel line's building up here as well, so I'm going to manage these vehicles. At the minute we've got these little trucks that carry 11. If we go to here it's 17. Yeah, I'll upgrade those as well. Might make it work a little bit better. How we're looking over here, we've got some fuel in. Yeah, see, we're up to 70% supply already in Withensea. And the last truck's only just got over there. But yeah, there's only 2 trucks on that line, and both of them are over here. One's just left again, so that line's doing pretty well. Now let's just look after Bjorn's bit of advice, whether we're actually doing any better here. Now it doesn't look like it's actually any more popular, this line, to be honest with you, but it is at least now stopping at every stop. Now what I did want to look at doing is possibly putting the little electric multiple units on here. They might work a little bit better. We give that a go, just seeing as we're not going to use them at any other opportunity. Carry 20 people. Put 2 of those on, and then I'm going to clone 2. I do think these are pretty cool. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there for this episode. Thanks again to Bjorn for the advice on this line, that's really helped, and let me know what you think about the reorganisation of that fuel and tools line. I'll keep an eye on it and hopefully it all beds in pretty well and starts to work. At the minute it looks like we still haven't received any tools into Driffield yet, but I will just check at the Snaith Tool Factory. It's got a hull. It has got a hull here, so at the minute we're just waiting for those to go through the system. We've got the aeroplanes. How many tools have we got here? Yeah, we're going to have to add another aircraft on there. We'll upgrade those as well. So we've got cargo. We're currently carrying... How many do these carry? 14. We've got a lot of different ones now, so you can carry 20 there. 66. Lockheed Hercules carrying 24, 20... 27 on a Candair. We'll go for a with it being a British playthrough. I know they use the Hercules in the British Air Force, so we'll swap those out. And we'll add another one as well. And then just to make this work even better, I'll add its own terminal. So at Driffield, at Selby Airport even, use his hangar number 2. There we go. So that should hopefully all kick into shape now. So right guys, yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up here. Thanks again to Bjorn for the advice. That seems to be a lot more efficient now, even if it's not making a lot more money. I'm sure it will do as it beds in. I've had the game on pause for a little bit of time while I've been messing about, so we'll see how that comes again in the next one, and hopefully it becomes a bit of a money maker for us. If anyone's got any other tips or tricks, or has seen anything else that I've missed, please do let me know. As always guys, if you've enjoyed this one, stick a like on it for me, it does help get the video out to more people, and subscribe to make sure you see the next one.
I guess it wasn't meant